Hey there polars! In this video I'm going to be teaching you a step-by-step process to achieving your first basic climb. Learning to climb will open up a new world of opportunities, allowing you to dance and perform tricks off the ground. These progressions aren't meant to be mastered over the course of one day. Listen to your body and only move on to the next difficulty when you can do the current one consistently and accurately. Each exercise will be repeated on each side from multiple different views. Learning the setup for climbing can be pretty awkward and foreign, so I'm going to spend a longer amount of time on it than I normally would. If you get it right away and don't need the extra instruction, feel free to skip ahead to the next exercise. And with that, let's get right into the video. We're going to start by standing slightly to one side of the pole. Step your inside foot forward so that your pinky toe is beside the base of the pole. The inside of that knee is going to make contact with the opposite side of the pole. Your outside leg will travel out and around to come in front of the pole, with that pinky toe on the other side of the base. Your legs will squeeze the pole behind your kneecaps, but not too far up the thighs. Standing on the other side of the pole, step the inside foot forward with your pinky toe beside the base. Bring the inside of that knee to the opposite side of the pole. Swing your outside leg out and around to come in front of the pole, with that pinky toe on the other side of the base. Again, your legs will squeeze the pole behind your kneecaps, but not too far up the thighs. Again, but from a side view, step the inside foot forward with the pinky toe beside the base. The inside of the knee will make contact with the opposite side of the pole. The outside leg comes out and around in front of the pole, with that pinky toe on the other side of the base. The pole is squeezed by the legs above the kneecaps, but not too far up the thighs. On the other side, step the new inside foot forward with that pinky toe beside the base. The inside of that knee will make contact with the opposite side of the pole. The outside leg comes out and around and in front of the pole, with that pinky toe on the other side of the base. Once again, the pole is squeezed by the legs above the kneecaps, but not too far up the thighs. For good measure, I have the same setup from the opposite side view. Inside foot forward, pinky toe by the base, inside knee to the opposite side of the pole, outside leg around and in front, pinky toe on the other side of the base, leg squeeze the pole right above the kneecaps. Other inside foot forward, pinky toe by the base, inside knee to the opposite side of the pole, outside leg around and in front, pinky toe on the other side of the base, leg squeeze the pole right above the kneecaps. For this exercise, the setup remains exactly the same as what we just did. Once you're in that setup as comfortably as you can be, you're going to bring your hands to the front of the pole to assist in some grounded climb squats. The majority of the work here is supposed to be coming from your legs and glutes, not your arms. As I show you this exercise from the next two angles, try to get at least 5 solid reps on either side. If you find that these are comfortable for you and want an added challenge, try taking away one hand while squatting. This ensures you're relying more on your legs and glutes than your arms. The next exercise begins the same as before, but the leg is higher on the pole, around the height of your waist. A little higher is okay, but any lower than your waist will make the exercise harder than it needs to be. The grip and execution of this exercise comes from the force of your leg pushing into the pole, as well as the inward rotation of that same knee. Once your leg is situated, your hands will hold the pole at or slightly above face level. Remembering to keep your shoulders down and away from your ears, you're going to kick into the pole to lift your other leg off the ground and raise your body upwards into a carousel kick. Changing to the other side of the pole, place your other leg on the pole in the same setup that you just did. Again, your knee should be right around waist height. Remember that the execution of this exercise comes from the force of your leg pushing into the pole, as well as the inward rotation of that same knee. With hands at or slightly above face height, think about kicking into the pole to lift your other leg off the ground. While I show you this exercise from the next two angles, try to get 3 to 5 solid reps on each leg. These angles might make it easier to understand how your carousel kick should look. To really perfect your carousel kick, try to use your arms as little as possible, and think about your body lifting straight up off the ground before coming towards the pole. If these feel pretty comfortable for you and you'd like an added challenge, try turning these into repeaters where you don't touch down your leg in between reps. The next exercise has the same setup as your carousel kicks, but this time when you lift your back leg off the ground, you're going to bring it out and around and in front of the pole into that climb position we practiced from the ground. Just like from the ground, you should be squeezing the pole between your thighs right above your knees. The pole should also make contact with the front of your back foot and the back of your front foot. As usual, while I show you this exercise from the next two angles, try to get 3 to 5 solid reps on each side. These angles should also make it easier to see the contact the pole makes between your feet. Remember those grounded climb squats we did before? Well, now it's time to do them in the air. Using the same setup from the climb position exercise, you're going to squat down while gripping the pole between your thighs and feet, trying to only use your hands for stability, not strength. Try to get 5 solid reps on either side, even if you can't do them consecutively and have to come down off the pole in between squats. If you're looking for an added challenge because these feel pretty comfortable for you, try removing one hand while squatting. This forces you to rely on your legs more instead of your arms. Congratulations, you're ready to try climbing. Once you're in your climb position, raise your hands higher on the pole, keeping your shoulders down and away from your ears. You're then going to release your legs just enough to slide them up and kick into the pole to push your hips away and upwards, to then regrip the pole with your legs. From here, you can release your legs behind you with bent knees, keeping your stomach against the pole to gently slide down to the ground. Switching which leg is behind the pole, get to your climb position, raise your hands, release and raise your legs, push hips away from the pole and up, and regrip the pole with your legs. Again, we'll try the same dismount as before, known as a carousel dismount. If the carousel dismount is uncomfortable or unnerving, another option is to remain in your climb position and loosen your grip with your hands and legs just enough to slide down with full contact on the pole, as seen here. As always, while I show this climb from the next 2 angles, try to get 3 solid climbs on either side, choosing whichever dismount feels safe and comfortable for you. Climbing starts feeling comfortable and you want one last challenge. Try doing consecutive climbs where you slide down the pole to just above the floor without touching down before beginning your next climb. The last part of this video is going to outline some common mistakes when learning and practicing climbing. The first mistake is not kicking back after raising your legs in order to push your hips back. If you don't get your hips back and up, you won't be able to grip the pole between your thighs and actually make progress upwards. The second mistake is keeping your knees apart. While this might technically work for grounded climb squats, if your legs don't squeeze the pole, you won't have enough contact to hold yourself on the pole when you release your hands. This might seem obvious, but when you're up on the pole, you'd be surprised at what can slip your mind. As you can see here, this is especially important when you're off the ground, so that you aren't relying on your hands to hold you up. The last mistake is not actually a mistake, just a common disfavor, for lack of a better word. Having a flexed back foot, or anchor foot, can help you feel more stable and give you more contact with the pole while climbing. This anchor foot is completely acceptable and even purposefully taught in some studios. It will just be harder to break this habit later on if you decide you want pointed toes. Because I was taught early on to try to point my toes while climbing, you can see even here that I have a hard time flexing my feet. Again, this is more of a personal preference. Flexed feet have many purposes, functionally and visually. I just personally prefer my toes pointed in most applications. I'm obviously over-exaggerating these mistakes and being silly with them, but the more you avoid them, the better off you'll be. As always, thanks so much for watching.